currently, or maybe recovering from people pleasing, here's a little hack that might just make it a little bit easier for you to make those good decisions. When something comes up, if you are struggling to have the right answer or right reaction that you want to have, look at it as if it were a child you love specifically. If you don't have kids, like if you have children, then it's really easy to think about your baby girl and be like, okay, well, what I want her doing this? No, okay, I'm not either. But if you don't have kids, totally fine. It can be a niece or your friend's child that you just super love. And you can picture that child, that little girl in your mind, and be like, okay, would I tolerate this from her? And you can use this hack in so many different ways. Like it can be for treatment. Like, would I allow my daughter to receive this treatment and be okay with it? No. Would I allow my niece to accept this, behavior, whether it is maybe name calling or some sort of abuse, whether it is something at work. If your daughter were calling you saying, Mama, this just happened at work, what should I do? Is it something that you would allow and have a good solution for? Or is it something you're gonna be like, no, we are putting in a boundary. That is not okay. We have to be able to show that same grace that we'd show a little person to ourselves. And there are so many good ways we can do this, but it really even boils down to what we do to ourselves. Self-talk is huge because, hello, your brain believes your voice because it hears it all the time. So self-talk is a big deal. And if you're talking badly to yourself, you can flip that by saying, okay, well, would I tell my daughter that she doesn't look cute in that outfit? No. Would I talk about her weight? Mm-mm. Would I talk about anything other than the nice and the good stuff that I can point out, like all the wins she's having? No, I'm going to talk about the wins. I'm not going to talk about the negatives. So if I'm going to show that grace to her, I've got to also show that grace to me. This can also be if there is something that you're working on switching up that you're having trouble with, whether it might be music, food, a workout routine, something like that. If you're struggling sticking to it and you're like, okay, this is like hard, would you want her to quit? Would you be like, you know what? Yeah, you don't need to work out. Like, it doesn't matter if you're healthy. It's totally fine. Or, that music really has some stuff in it that I don't really like for you. And I know you said you were trying to work on switching up your music game. So if there are things like that where you would want them to stick with it and keep going and not stop, then it's totally okay for you to do the same for yourself. Hello, hi guys, welcome. I am just wrapping up some talk about a hack of a way to accomplish things if you struggle with maybe people pleasing or not being super true to yourself on things, to look at a super small young person that you love, daughter, niece, whatever, and say, would I want that for her? And if the answer is no, you probably don't need it for you either, because it's really easy for us in our minds to be like, that's not healthy. Ooh, that's not good. Or, ooh, that is healthy and good. So if we want the best for that little person, we can use that and want the best for ourselves too. It makes it easier if you kind of zoom out from the equation and don't think about it being for you. Just think about it being in general, especially for someone little and helpless that you love, which is kind of your inner child if you really look at it anyway. So anyway, I hope that was helpful for someone. I hope you guys all have an awesome weekend. I'm sure I will be back by, but I wanted to pop that in while it was fresh on my mind. Thanks, guys.